What's going on, everyone? Ash here with the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate news update. It's that time again. Smash Bros. Series creator and director Masahiro Sakurai has returned with another column in Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu, this one discussing the most recent addition to the roster, Animal Crossing's Isabelle. As usual, our friends at SourceGaming have translated the column in full, so we're providing a summary of the column's main points for you right here. But this summary won't include every last detail, so be sure to go check out the full translation if you're hungry for more after this video. You can find a link to the full column in the video description below. And with that, let's get started. Sakurai begins by apologizing for the 1-week delay this column suffered. This had to be done due to the earthquake in Hokkaido, the same earthquake that delayed the recent Nintendo Direct by a week. He then gets right to the point, stating that Isabelle has joined the fray in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate before mentioning how cute her animations and movements are in her trailer. According to Sakurai, the more motion, the better. Sakurai then pivots to an interesting point, saying that anyone expecting them to just drop a bunch of Newcomer trailers leading up to release would do well to reset those expectations. He says they might have gone a bit overboard with Newcomer trailers up to now, and that the pace of their reveals will be slowed down from here on out. Getting back on track, Sakurai then begins discussing Isabelle in earnest. He starts by mentioning the obvious point that Isabelle is based off of Villager in the way she can pocket items and ride on a balloon swing. Isabelle is not, however, an Echo Fighter, and Sakurai mentions this specifically. This is due to the fact that Villager and Isabelle have fundamentally different body types and personalities, Sakurai says, which means they couldn't have made her an Echo. On top of that, Isabelle doesn't share a single animation with Villager. All of her animations are different. Sakurai then switches gears for a bit and talks about Isabelle's game of origin being Animal Crossing New Leaf. He mentions that Isabelle's proportions in Smash are based on that of New Leaf, where she and the human characters were a bit slimmer and taller than in previous Animal Crossing games. Villager, by comparison, is a little shorter and stouter than Isabelle in his Smash incarnation. Sakurai then reveals that they did consider utilizing New Leaf's slimmer proportions when they were originally designing Villager during Smash 4's development, but they decided to go with a more fleshed out earlier model of the character. This decision was made for two reasons. The first one is that a slimmer Villager would have ended up being thinner than Mario, which wouldn't fit Villager's character. The second reason has to do with the fact that Animal Crossing games are played from a bird's eye view, making the characters' bodies seem shorter than they really are. Sakurai then switches gears, mentioning that Smash is, and I quote, a thoroughly strange game. He even calls it chaos, with the things they look for in a character or stage shifting by the minute. For example, he says, cool things must be cooler. Cute things must be cuter. But at the same time, they also have to make sure to minimize the dissonance created by these two very different kinds of things existing alongside one another. For this reason, Sakurai says, his work is never dull. Because his job is characterized by so much change, it demands dexterity and flexibility. Sakurai then muses about the nature of what cool and cute actually are as concepts. He doesn't think they can be explained through physical qualities alone, and instead believes those concepts include things that are both tangible and intangible. That's where Sakurai says playing a lot of different games and getting a feel for these kinds of things becomes useful. Smash's characters all come from their own games, many of which came out a long time ago. But if you focus solely on following those original games without any deviation, it becomes impossible to create something appropriate by present standards. According to Sakurai, it all comes down to having knowledge of those current standards so you can create something that meshes with today's environment while striking a balance with the past. This, Sakurai says, is absolutely essential. Relating this concept to Smash, Sakurai begins closing the column by stating that he tries his best to maintain a quality of unity among Smash's varied roster of fighters while also making a game that passes muster by today's standards. Finally, Sakurai signs off by mentioning that he and his team should be wrapping up development soon, he hopes. And with that, we've reached the end of this column as well as the end of this news update. As a reminder, be sure to check out SourceGaming's translated column in full as it includes some details that aren't covered in this summary. You can find a link to the full column in the video description below. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on social media using the links in the video description below. In the meantime, keep it on GameXplain for more on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the Nintendo Switch, and all things gaming.